Hello everybody and welcome back to the A-Side. I am your host, Riley, and I'm known, colloquially that is, as the Weezer guy. Many of my friends know me as the Weezer guy. They'll send me Weezer memes. You guys may know me as the Weezer guy. Of course, the very first video I made on the A-Side was me ranking every Weezer album from worst to best, and have, of course, also covered every single Weezer release to come out in the 2020s. That would include OK Human, Van Weezer, and the two parts of the season's quadrilogy of albums that we've gotten this year so far, that being spring and summer. Of course, I love Weezer, one of my favorite bands, top 4 for me. I saw them live along with Green Day and then summer 2021. It was a great show. And I've, of course, covered both seasons' releases so far. Spring I was not a fan of. I really didn't like how childish it was, and all the cutesy stuff really started to get on my nerves. I think it was highly overproduced and way too sanitized, and the band just sounded so tired. Everything felt so hollow to me on that record. Summer, on the other hand, I thought was a step in the right direction. It's a solid record. Although not great. The only song I really find myself returning to often is Records, although I do like What's the Good in Being Good. So that's been my thoughts on season so far, although I hear Autumn is actually pretty good. I've heard that this is the best one yet. We'll see about that. It's just like the other two projects, super short, 7 songs, a little over 24 minutes. So we're going to hop right into this reaction. But before we get started, if you are new around here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. You can always unsubscribe later if you want. Now, Rivers originally characterized this album as being kind of garage rock inspired, interestingly enough. Whether that's going to be true or not, I don't know. Rivers hasn't accurately described a record he was putting out ever in the last, 30 years. So let's just get it right into it, I guess. Track 1, Cant Dance, Don't Ask Me. The amount of joy, the amount of serotonin that just got released in my brain because of those synthesizers, those Pinkerton-esque Tired of Sex, White Album. I love when Weezer uses the analog synthesizers that has that buzzy kind of sound to it, and they're back. The Tired of Sex synthesizers, I Just Love My Dream synthesizers, are back. And along with the crunchy guitars, sounds like peak Weezer. This is what I love Weezer for. Oh, I like that guitar. Oh, I love the synthesizer. See, this is how you incorporate electronics into your music, the kind of way they're doing it here, like I said, on Tired of Sex, but I'll stop giving that example. I'll compare it to, Motion City Soundtrack. It's a rock song. It's got the crunchy guitars, and that's the main aspect of it, but then it's got those synthesizers as, icing on the cake, and it sounds so good, and I love the sound of this. It's just classic, blue Pinkerton era Weezer. Oh, I love the way the music drops out there and just to come back in. Only for a split second it drops out. But it gives this interesting dynamic and kind of makes you focus on it at that point. Oh, that's really funky sounding. That's a really interesting vocal rhythm. Do 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 do. I just think that's a neat vocal rhythm. Oh, this is very White Album. That ending part right there, where it was just like the synth and the guitar with some harmony background vocals, that was very White Album, very beachy. It's very interesting. I feel like these records really haven't been sonically like with the seasons the way I would put them, because I feel like this is more summery, whereas I think record summer was a little more autumny, honestly. I mean, maybe that'll change, but I feel like that doesn't necessarily fit the autumn theme. This song was very summery, very White Album, and it's interesting because this is the one that was supposed to be different. The other ones were supposed to sound like classic Weezer, according to Rivers, but I think this sounds the most like classic Weezer out of any of the songs off of the season's records so far. I think fans of Blue and Pinkerton era Weezer are going to love this song, at least sonically, because those crunchy guitars and those analog synths just bring you right back to the 90s. I mean, all the things I love early Weezer for, at least sonically. There's some cool stuff going on. I really like the kind of cool rhythms at the end there. I do think the lyrics here didn't really strike me as anything too interesting, but I think sonically the song worked out great. You've probably seen the other videos I've done on the season's records thus far, so you know I have a rating scale for these things. If I like a song, I give it the green. If I don't like it, I give it a red. And if it's meh, I give it a black. That went down really hard. I'm going to give Cant Dance, Don't Ask Me the green. I explained why I like that song so much. Anyway, I'm interested to hear the rest of this now. Track 2, because I forgot all about this until like a week ago when they tweeted, guys, just a week until autumn. Like, that's how little the impressions the last two left on me. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a thing they're doing. But hey, maybe this one will be good. Track 2, Get Off the Pain. Get Off on the Pain. Okay, I don't know how I hear this guitar riff is very familiar sounding. It almost sounds like Elephant. The people down the street are packing up as if they found a neighbor doing witchcraft. There isn't anybody I could trust. Those strings are strange. This is Blue Album. This is Blue Album. This is Green. This is Eubate. Listen to those guitars. The Judas Tree. Oh my god. So this record, I think, is probably going to be a little darker if you don't know Judas hung himself. I tried to make it better, but I'm a candle in the rain. I try to get around it, but I get off on the pain. Those are some pretty dark lyrics, Rivers. This is a little Pinkerton-y, I'm gonna be honest. Which, that was supposed to be the next one. That was supposed to be Winter was the dark one. But this is... Record's really been giving me like a Blue Album Pinkerton vibe. I mean, that guitar riff there, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, that's so crunchy. It's just so Weezery. And this is just a very Weezer sounding song in my opinion. I don't know if I'm necessarily huge on the verses though. They're different. I'm okay with that. Oh, but the chorus here, man. What's wrong with me? I can't agree. I screwed it up to the Judas Tree. Saying he fucked things up so bad that he's to the point where he just wants to game end. Unalive himself. This is like very much what we've been wanting from Weezer, right? The darker, very much self-deprecating lyrics of something like Pinkerton, and then the heavier, crunchier guitar sound. This is what we've been asking for.
Right by your side. I tried to make it better. One candle in the rain, but there's no way around it. Now I get off on the pain. I get off on the pain. I get off on the pain. I get off on the pain.
I love the guitar in this record so far. It's bringing me back, man. Ooh, that's so cool. It's like a video gamey sound. Rivers is bringing the song to some dark places, both lyrically and here musically. Those synths sound so cool. Yes, Rivers! That is the most impassioned Rivers has sounded in a minute! Almost reminds me of Get You, I Get Off on the Pain. The kind of like twisted and almost enjoyment he's getting out of this suffering. The way it's become almost like a masochist anthem. Lyrically, this song was very, very Pinkerton. Super dark. I love the line, I'm like a candle in the rain, I get off in the pain. Or I messed it up all the way to the Judas tree. Really giving you some dark, dark imagery. I mean, a candle in the rain, the futileness of fire with water coming down. You try and burn bright, but you just can't. The world's stopping you. And of course, the Judas tree is alluding to suicide. And then Rivers saying he gets off on the pain, like I mentioned, reminds me a lot of Get You. That kind of dark, twisted masochism he almost gets out of this. And then the sound of the song, those crunchy guitars and the chorus coming in, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It's just so true to what Weezer is and what we come to this band for. Get Off on the Pain gets a green for me. I wasn't expecting a song to remind me so much of Pinkerton on this record, honestly. I wasn't really expecting to like this. Next track, What Happens After You. It's really poppy so far, weirdly enough.
I'm sending out a signal, waiting on a call back from you.
It's an interesting sounding song. It's like strangely poppy. Like, maybe like Say So's popping in my mind. Level of Concern, 21 Pilots. That is weirdly poppy. Oh my god, this is scratching some kind of itch in my brain. It's reminding me of something and I cannot for life me think of what it is. That chorus was super like radio pop though. Like radio pop rock. Fall Out Boy! It sounds like a modern Fall Out Boy song. Immortals. That's what I'm getting from that. That's what the sound. It sounds like a more rock-centric, post-hiatus, like American Beauty, American Psycho era Fall Out Boy song. I gotta say, it's really interesting how they made a pop song with rock instruments, because that do 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 do, that driving beat would be like a pop dance song with synths, except they did it with the electric guitars and with actual bass and with real drums. That's interesting. They made like a dance pop song, but used it with like Weezer instruments, and made this really weird crossover like sound that exists somewhere between like good Charlotte and post hiatus Fall Out Boy. I don't know if I love it, but I think it's interesting, so I'm gonna give it the green just for that. Weird. See, this album has been all over the place though. I mean, Cant Dance, Don't Ask Me felt very much like blue, green, a little bit of green, a little bit of white. Get Off on Pain felt very much Pinkerton-y, and What Happens After You felt unlike anything Weezer's done so far. Alright, next track, Francesca.
Ooh, Francesca, I need you. No matter
Immediately, very 60s sounding love song.
you are my
It's very quaint. Ooh, those synths are really cool.
Hey, listen to what I'm saying. Every word is true. Ooh, ooh, I'm sorry for complaining.
The chord progression on the guitar here just sounds really 60s.
My name down on your list. Take these nails out my wrist. My biche. Listen to my pleas. I know you understand me.
That I know you understand me. I don't know, it's giving me like 60s retros throwback.
We both know it would be fun. Little bit of hit and run. Got a bell before
Do 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 do. Yeah.
Francesca, I need you. No matter what you do, you are my Waterloo. Hey, I'm literally dying.
I do want to say though, I think still these songs are a little half-baked. I am enjoying them. I've noticed it with this one though. I just wish they would have diverted more time to one of the projects. I feel like they could have fleshed out Autumn way more and given us fans something we wanted. If you made a whole, if you took a song like Get Off the Pain and fleshed that out, if you took Can't Dance, Don't Ask Me and fleshed that out, those two songs, if you really like take that and make it a record, you're going to make fans so happy. Whereas I feel like some of these other songs they're throwing on here maybe are a little half-baked on ideas and aren't necessarily what the people really want. It's definitely good. I just feel like it still is missing something, some kind of je ne sais quoi that's keeping me really like, oh, I want to go listen to Francesca, And I'm not going to ever come back and listen to this song necessarily over, like, Keep Fishing or... I like the sound of it, though. It's a good song.
Now they brought their flaming sword. We're not welcome anymore. Just a devil and a whore. Say fool. Ooh, Francesca, I need you. No matter what you do.
See, these synths are very beachy sounding, in my opinion.
Why can't I have you? It isn't fair. No, it isn't kind.
I do like the synth work on this a lot, actually. This is bringing a very interesting beachy sound to it. This record feels very much more like summer than autumn. Although the garage rock comparisons Rivers threw out there was bullshit. This is the most Weezery sounding of the three, in my opinion. I mean, when I think garage rock, I think like The Strokes or The Kinks or White Stripes, you know? This sounds very Weezery to me. That being said, I like Francesca. I know I bitched about it a little bit, but it was a enjoyable song. I really like the synth work on it. Sweet little love song, you know. I'll give it the green. This has definitely been my favorite of the season's records so far. Like, I wouldn't put it as top tier Weezer, but it's good. It's enjoyable. Some of these songs very much throwback sound to early Weezer. I think a lot of the fans are really going to like this project, personally. So the next track, Should She Stay or Should She Go? And if this is a fucking interpolation of the Clash song, I'm going to lose it. Those are really pretty.
Maybe think Old Testament.
Old Testament, you mean the metal band?
Is this a metal band called Old Testament? I like that. Bum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum. It sounds very like chill, like you're just sitting on a nice day contemplating. Those background vocals, those harmonies are really pretty. This is a really pretty song. Wow! The vocal layering is gorgeous, the melodies are awesome. Man, the emotion is really pouring out of the melody here. Synth work is fascinating, very 80s almost. River sounds so good here. I like that melody a lot. It's very emotional. It really brings out the emotion of the song. A kind of confused contemplation. I think the vocal layering is really what's doing it for me too. Hello, saxophone. That just puts the 80s nail in the coffin there. Or the nail in the 80s coffin. It's great. I like it a lot. I'm just gonna fade out. Yeah, clear influence from the 80s on this. Probably the most 80s we just ever sounded. I really like that. Actually might be my favorite song on the record. Those melodies are awesome. They really bring out, like I said, the emotion and the contemplative thoughts of the song. I think the harmonies were really awesome on the vocal layering. Rivers hitting some of those falsettos really caught me off guard. Especially because his falsetto, you know, hasn't been great last couple of years. I think that's one thing I noticed about OK Human, a record I adore. Some of his falsettos were a little rough on that. They sound good here. Yeah, and I just really like the vibe of that song, the inclusion of the saxophone, the synth work. Kind of really different from a lot of what Weezer's done. And a really simple story, too. You know, it doesn't seem like Rivers is trying too hard to talk about weird shit like he was on other albums. And the thing about this one is, this is the only one so far that hasn't had anything to annoy me either. I've just thoroughly enjoyed all these tracks. I mean, I haven't been like, oh my god, 10 out of 10, but I've just thoroughly enjoyed all of them quite a bit. So, second to last song, Taste Like Pain. Cue feedback. Ooh, those squealing strings. Sound like a horror movie.
I'm dumb cock, I'm stupid, I hate you, I'm sorry, I'm awful, I'm evil.
I know earlier I praised Weezer's darker elements on Get Off on the Pain and having it be more self-deprecating, but this is a little on the nose. Just a little bit.
Forgive me, I should be castrated, mutilated,
Jesus Christ, Rivers.
down and burned at the stake.
Okay, here's the thing, right? Being dark and being edgy and being self-deprecating and all these things only work if they're coming from a genuine place. Pinkerton doesn't work because it's dark. The darkness works because it's coming from a genuine, real place in River's heart. A real place of pain and sadness. I wasn't raised in the hood, but I know a thing or two about pain and darkness. Rivers Cuomo said that. Whereas here, it just feels like, oh, the fans want me to be dark. Okay, I'm stupid. I'm evil. I need to be mutilated and castrated. It's a little much, and it doesn't feel genuine. It feels like a middle schooler was trying to write an edgy song or something on, like, fucking Archive of Our Own.
Compliments to the chef.
Musicality is weird, too. It's like inserting itself in pockets in between this classic piece. Like violin piece.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's the first song on Autumn I haven't liked. And that makes me scared for Winter, because they said Winter was going to be a darker record. But I really hope it's not going to be dark like this. Where this didn't, like I said, didn't feel genuine. It just felt very forced, trying to be, like, dark and edgy and deranged. Yeah, I'm going to give Taste Like Pain the red. I also wasn't a big fan of the musicality. It just sounded like a fucking mess sonically. Like he was trying to fit a rock song, an unfinished rock song, in the middle of a classical violin piece. So, not big on that one. But hey, I'm pretty sure this last track, Run Raven Run, is actually an old demo from the Pacific Daydream era. So I'm excited to hear this song, and hopefully this will be amazing.
See the night train round the corner. Slam the brakes. Door slides open. Time to go in.
Yeah, this sounds like classic Weezer. Maybe not like classic, like 90s Weezer, but like 2000s Weezer.
Can't support you. Let me hold you.
Hurley. I get Hurley vibes.
And then scramble in the bushes, hide in the trees. Run, Raven, run. Run, Raven,
Oh, this chorus is really good.
hear the eagles' terrible scream.
Run, Raven, run! Run, Raven, run! That's gonna get stuck in my head.
Raven, all I can do is keep praying. Raven, oh Raven, I hear them coming for you. Teachers gather on All Saints' Day, and though they try, they can't.
This is building. This is like an Only in Dreams, Endless Bummer kind of song. It's really pretty so far. Oh, if the payoff to this is bad, I'm gonna be so mad. Now, come on. I was so excited. I was expecting a big explosion, not a fucking lullaby. Oh, that's so disappointing. That makes me so sad. I'm gonna end on an ominous note, because next is winter, and now everything's gonna die. Interesting that this will be the last thing we hear until winter, something kind of dark and menacing and foreboding. Oh, hey, good song. I'm fucking pissed at what that song just did. The way it was building up like that, I was expecting like a like at the end of Only in Dreams, or the at the end of Endless Bummer, but no, instead it dropped into a weird lullaby thing. I'm also going to give that the green, though. I enjoyed the ride up until the end. And that's kind of how I feel about the whole of Autumn, is I just enjoyed the ride. It didn't give me a lot to say. I don't think it's a super deep or complex album, but if you're a Weezer fan, you're really going to enjoy it. It's going to make you really nostalgic. It's going to tug on your heartstrings as a Weezer fan by bringing back a lot of familiar things and familiar sounds, doing the kind of blue-green thing on Cant Dance, Don't Ask Me, doing the Pinkerton thing on Get Off the Pain, doing the kind of 60s-ish throwback kind of like White Album thing with Francesca, doing the kind of whole big closing note with Run Raven Run, at least up until the end, and then doing something new with What Happens After You and Should She Stay or Should She Go. For being such a short album, it was very eclectic with a lot of different things Weezer's done, both familiar and new, and I think more often than not it worked. The only song I didn't like was Taste Like Pain, and I think that's really all I have to say about this record. Is it's not anything super deep, it's not anything life-changing, just enjoyable from beginning to end. A pretty solid Weezer project for 24 minutes of your time. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Probably my favorite so far. I think my favorite of the songs is probably Still Records. But I enjoyed this quite a bit. Like I said, I think it's still missing something. I think they needed to flesh these out more, and I know there's not much they can do, but I think it's time Weezer takes a break. I know River's already working on something else along with the Yellow album, but that's 6 albums in the last 2 years. And by the time we get to Yellow and the new thing, that'll be 8 albums within the 2020s decade, and we'll only be 3 years in. Not to mention the fact that they did all of the Hella Mega Tour, and then the Enter Sandman cover, and the Jimmy Kimmel shows, and they prepared for the Broadway shows that never happened. They're doing shows as Goat Punishment right now, already playing songs off of Winter. So I'm still interested in hearing Winter. This has been my favorite so far. I'll give it like a 7- out of 10. It was solid. Yeah. What did you think of this? What's your favorite? We rank the season's albums below. Let me know if you're still looking forward to Winter. Let me know what your favorite track on this album is. And Ride or Die Forever. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.